What's going on, Show Nation? It's Movie with Movie Gaming TV, and in today's video, I'm going to give you the Stage 2 Team Affinity cards that I'm going to grind after first in MLB The Show 21. Now, there's a lot of information in Team Affinity Stage 2. I cannot wait to make some more videos on it, but today we're going to focus on the cards that I'm going to grind after first, and in my opinion, they are the best cards in Stage 2 Team Affinity. There's also some very good cards in the Legends and Flashback packs as well, some higher diamonds that can help out your team. And here's the first thing that I also recommend that you do once you start grinding this out is go over to the single player modes in the game, go to the moments and go to the Team Affinity moments. Each division, basically each player in Team Affinity Stage 2 has their own moment, so you can kind of try the player out and see what you think. And so I went through all of these first to try to get an opinion on them. I swing tested their swings before they even dropped. So at this point, I feel like I can give you the ones that I would go after first. All right, my number one pick in Stage 2 Team Affinity is Ed Cabrera. Sinker, slider, curveball, changeup, four-seam fastball. Sinker has an outlier on it, so it's extremely fast. Good per nines at 101.97. Throws some serious gas. Has the slider, the curveball, the changeup. I like his motion a lot. To me, he is the number one player in Stage 2 Team Affinity. I would go after him first. The number two player I have in Stage 2 Team Affinity is Cliff Lee. He's the one thing I don't like about Lee is that low H per 9. So this is a card that you're going to want to get paralleled up. But he has amazing control on the sinker, the cutter, the circle change, the knuckle curve, and the four-seam fastball. I wish he had more control on the cutter instead of the knuckle curve, but it is what it is. He's a really good pitcher to add to your rotation, and he has that control that he's just going to adopt like crazy with pinpoint. My number three card is Dante Bichette. I would go after Dante Bichette because he's got 100, 125, 95, 105. He's got 70 speed. His fielding isn't very good, but you're going to want to stick him in like left field or even possibly right field, but his hitting is off the charts. Some people don't like his swing. I like his swing a lot. I love that he has high contact and high power. I'm a big fan of this card. Actually, this is the best Dante Bichette card I've ever seen in MLB The Show 21. Well, just in MLB The Show since I've started playing. So I got Dante Bichette at number 3. At number 4, I have Jimmy Fox, who has only 75 contact right, which actually really scares me. 116, 105 for the power versus left and the contact. He also has 92 power versus right. He makes his list because he can play first, catcher, and third base, but he just has a really good swing in the game. He also has 50 speed. I might toss him on my bench at 116, 105. It just gets real sketchy to play a card with only 75 contact on Legend. So I feel like this card would be a lot better on like All-Star and Hall of Fame where that contact's not going to matter as much. But he's going to be lethal versus lefties. He's going to be pretty bad behind the plate. You'd want to play him at catcher, but he's still like, he just got one of the best swings in the game. I got to go with him at number 4 only because I feel like this is a card I'm going to put on my bench to pinch hit versus lefties on like the top levels, and I'm going to enjoy this card personally because I always enjoy Jimmy Fox cards. In the number 5 spot, we got Ronny Mauricio, and Ronny came in just above Jordan Groshans because he has that switch hitting ability, and the more I look at his card, I think he is a little bit better because once he gets paralleled up, he's going to be, mid 60s speed, but he's going to have almost 99 arm strength. He's going to have diamond fielding. He's going to have great reaction as well. And I just like the fact that he can switch hit. He's got 95, 96 on the power versus right, 89, 82. And it's just always nice to have a switch hitter. He's got that positional versatility to play third base as well. And at this point, you can see in the top 5, we have 3 cards from the NL East. So the NL East is definitely going to be the thing that you want to do first, no matter what. These cards are all very good in the NL East. They don't have very many good cards in the Legends and Flashbacks. In fact, they have like 0, but they do have 3 bona fide stars in Team Affinity Stage 2. At number 6, we have Jordan Groshans. He's got the contact I like. He's got a great swing. He's got a lot of power. He's got a great arm. He's got decent speed as well. His fielding's okay. I'm going Ronny just a little bit more, but they're pretty much even to me. So, try them out in those moments like I talked about. See which one you like more. I'm giving it to Ronny just because I think he's a little bit better and he has a switch hitting ability, but like Jordan is fantastic also. So they're both really good to me. You could even make the case for this one to be rated higher. Jim told me I got it number 7, 119, 125, 74, 110. Great bench bat at 119, 125. That's super elite. It's fantastic. 74, 100 is not too bad either if you need him for an everyday first baseman. The fielding isn't very good. The speed is not very good. The swing's fantastic though. So I do recommend Jim told me. I've got him in the 7 spot. Now, this is pretty crazy, but I actually have Joe Torre at the number 8 spot. And the reason I have him in the number 8 spot is because I play a lot of games on Legend, and he has 125 contact on both sides. Plus, he has 84 power versus right. He only has 62 power versus left, but his hitting is going to be pretty good on Legend. His swing sucks, but I think he might be okay at the catcher position. He has 80 arm. He would still have silver fielding, and he's got decent enough speed at 47 speed that he just kind of, I don't know, like I'm kind of intrigued to try this card out just because he has so much contact. And having high contact is really important this year, especially like my stadium. I play on like max altitude with short fences. So this card is going to play like real well for me, I think. And I think a lot of players are playing in those kind of stadiums where it's just like very high altitude and short fences. This card might play really well there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with Joe Torre at number 8. Sam Huff comes in at the number 9 spot for me. Great arm strength, great fielding, great speed. The only thing I'm concerned about is his contact, a little bit 80 and 91. His swing, if you go try out his swing, he kind of like doesn't have like a step or anything. He just kind of moves his hands to the ball. So it's a very basic type of swing. I just get a little bit nervous about the contact versus right on Legend. And other than that, like if you're playing on All-Star Hall of Fame, I'd much rather have this card than a Joe Torre card. I'd much rather have it because he has like a ton of power from both sides, so I'd much rather use it. It's really not that bad either compared to Joe Torre. I just like, the only reason I think Joe Torre is going to be good is because he might be good on Legend. As far as like All-Star and Hall of Fame, I'd much rather have Sam Huff because he's got a lot more power, and that contact versus right and contact versus left isn't going to matter as much. Plus, he's going to have better defense by a lot, really. He's going to have a lot better defense, and he's going to have good speed. So I do like this Sam Huff card quite a bit. But it just kind of depends like which level you play on a lot. Do you play a lot of All-Star and Hall of Fame? Go after Sam Huff. You play a lot of Legend? I'd probably go after Joe Torre. But that's just my opinion. All right, the number 10 spot, we have Quinn Preister. And this card reminds me a lot of Pedro Martinez. That's just really what comes to mind when I think of this card. He's got the 4-seam, the curveball, the changeup, the sinker, and the slider. It's a lot like Martinez. So if you like that Pedro Martinez card from early on, check out this Quinn Preister card because they're very similar in that regard. They have good motions. They're very fluid. They have a lot of pitches that they can pitch with. And that's really who he reminds me of. It's like a complete clone of him. In the 11th spot, we have Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet has outlier on the fastball, so he throws some serious gas. He also has the slider, the changeup, and the 2-seam fastball. If you like that pitcher that throws with that outlier speed, check out Garrett Crochet. He's going to throw 102 consistently. It can be very difficult to hit. He has good per nines as well. I've got Crochet in the 11th spot. In the 12th spot, I have Johnny Bench. He is 91, 119 against lefties. That's really nice. I do like that a lot. He's also got good fielding behind the dish, 90-90. He only has 35 speed. He's 85-68 versus righties. I just think he's an interesting card. He's not good versus righties, but he could be very good versus a lefty. You know, maybe you roll into Garrett Crochet like we just talked about. He's 91, 119, which is some serious power. I'd recommend like watching his front foot when you use him with his swing. So we got a lot of catchers in this one. We got Jimmy Fox, we got Joe Torre, we got Sam Huff, we got Johnny Bench. This is another solid one. He's got some positional versatility too. He can play first base and third base. I have him as the number 12 card in Stage 2 Team Affinity. The final card that I have here is Brandon Webb. He's got a sinker, a curveball, a changeup, a cutter, and a 4-seam fastball. He kind of reminds me of like an Oral Hershiser type of pitcher. He's got pretty good control on that sinker. In fact, he's got 99 control on it. He's got pretty good break on it. He's pretty deceptive as well. I just don't think the per nines are there. The 83, 82 is just not good enough, especially online, especially with the cards people are going to have. think about 83 versus like 120 contact and 125 power. If I'm seeing this card on like Hall of Fame or Legend, I'm going to be happy just because the Ace 9 and the Caper 9 are so low. So my PCI is going to be large, and it's going to make it easy for me to make contact. And that's the one knock that I really have against this card is the Ace 9 and the Caper 9 are not there. It just, if those were higher, he would be a lot better. But since they are lower, it really holds him back. But I have him in the number 13 spot. Let's just talk about in these choice packs. There's actually some really good cards in here. This Gary Sanchez is excellent. The only problem is that contact versus left and that power versus left are not there. But 102, 114 with his swings, super elite. Plus he has 85 arm strength. This is a really good card, especially if you play on All-Star Hall of Fame. Really good card. I also like this Chris Davis a lot. 92, 122. Tons of power. This is a very good card as well. Make sure that you pick this one up. If you go through this, just definitely pick this one up. Very good card. This card is actually very good as well. This Willie Stargell card. He's just got a really good swing. A lot of people in competitive play used him at the start of last year. He's just a good card to put at first base. Don't put him in left field by any stretch of the imagination, but I just want to include him and say he's a good card. Sergio Romo is another really good reliever. He's got the slider, the four seam, the sinker, and the changeup. He's very good. Definitely a card that you're gonna want to go after. As well as this Justin Upton, he has 117, 113 contact and power versus left. Plus he has good speed. So in a bench bat, you're really looking for either a switch hitter or somebody that has like huge contact and power versus one side. And he's got tons of power and contact versus the one side with a good swing. And he also has 70 speed in case you just needed an emergency pinch runner. So Justin Upton's also worth it to go after. Well, those are all the cards that I'm going to be grinding for first. Definitely start off with the NL East. No doubt about it. Start off with the NL East. It's going to help you a lot in the AL East as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next video. Until then, peace out.